Welcome guys, my name is Albert and in today's video we are going to be talking about the 5 traits that you need to develop as a man to become an alpha male. Okay, so if you have not already, subscribe to the channel, turn on post notifications so you don't miss any of my future videos, because on this channel I teach you guys how to become better men and how to improve your interactions with women. Okay, so those are 5 traits that I'm going to go right into. Okay, so the first one is you have to develop the trait of being accountable. And when I say accountability, it doesn't mean, it also means making sure your yeses mean yes and your nos mean no, right? But in other words, you could have, like, the way I'm thinking about accountability is you have to take accountability for everything that happens in your life, right? So what does that mean? You are responsible, right? You should hold yourself responsible for everything that happens to you in your life. You should take responsibility for it. So I understand there are things that are out of your control, right? I understand that life happens. Things are hard. Things are unfair. Life is unfair, right? But you have to get to the point. Every alpha man knows that no matter what happens to him, he is the maker of his destiny. So it is his responsibility to make sure his life is going in the right direction. Even if a adverse event happens in his life that kind of veers him off, it's his responsibility to put his life back on track. You know, there are things that are going to be out of your control. There are things that are just going to be out of your control, right? And you'll be in all your right to say, you know what? There's nothing I could have done about that. There is nothing I could have done about that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're driving down the street, someone hits you. There's nothing you could have done about that, right? But there are things that you can do to actually take responsibility, as in, okay, now that this horrible event has happened to me, or let's say the way my life is wasn't my fault, my upbringing, my background, right? I was disadvantaged. Now you have to get to a place where it's like, okay, what can I do going forward right now? I am going to take responsibility for my life going forward, because no one, right, is going to come and help you. You need to understand this. You need to be able to take a kind of accountability for your own life. So that is the first trait. The second trait that you need to develop if you want to become an alpha male is you have to become selfish. Yes, I said it. You have to become selfish. You have to be selfish, as in the person that comes first in your life is you. You have to be selfish with your time. You have to be selfish with your resources. You have to be selfish with your attention. You have to become so selfish with your wants and desires, right? You have to become singularly focused on making yourself happy, right? You have to become selfish in achieving your dreams and goals. Nothing else matters but you and your dreams and goals in life. You see, we are of the mindset that, oh, if we're selfish, this is a bad thing. Guys, look, I'm not talking about being a horribly selfish person. What I'm talking about is being selfish with your time in, if me spending time with doing something with other people is going to take away from my dream and goals in life, I have to cut that out. They are not important. Your dreams and goals in life are important, because once you have achieved everything that you want in life, you can now actually help other people. If you're a kind of person like me that I love to help people, one of the joys in my life is to bring joy to other people, is to help people with their own problems. That is what brings me joy, right? Not money, not success. But I understand that I will do more good in this world the more successful I become. And to become more successful, I have to be selfish. So if I want to be successful, if I want to help people, I have to become more successful, and then I have to become that successful, I have to be selfish. So you see what I'm talking about? If you're that kind of person that you want to help your family, you want to help your community, or you want to leave a legacy for your kids, you have to become selfish. This is very important, and that is what I mean. Okay? So that's the second trait. Third trait, you have to have a high tolerance for pain. What do I mean by this? You have to become that guy that takes calculated risks. You have to become that guy that is willing to make sacrifices that most people will not make. You have to be that guy that bets on yourself regardless of what your situation is right now. No matter what anyone is saying about what you've done in the past or your current situation or where you've been, you have to become that guy that has a high tolerance for pain. That means being able to take calculated risks, being able to go long periods of time without those things that you truly desire or love. Putting things aside that you know what, if I do those things, it's going to take away from my mission in life and my purpose in life. Being able to make sacrifices. Having high tolerance when setbacks happen, being able to weather the storm and push through. That is a trait of an alpha male. High tolerance for pain. Guys, become a glutton for pain, for punishment, right? And obviously, I just explained what I meant by that. A risk taker. Calculated risks, right? I'm not talking about the illegal stuff. I'm talking about calculated risk. There's a chance you may fail, but there's a chance if it goes well, there is a high payoff, right? So you have to know when you're in these situations. And then in those situations, always rely on betting on yourself, right? Betting on yourself. This is very important. Trait number 4, you have to become self-disciplined. You have to have discipline. If you want to become that alpha male, you have to develop the trait of being self-disciplined. This goes hand in hand with the 3 traits I have already given to you, right? It requires a level of self-discipline in yourself. Doing what you say that you're going to do and sticking with it until the desired outcome is achieved, right? So you have to have the self-discipline. Now, I'm not gonna lie to you. Self-discipline is the hardest thing ever, right? Because it comes to the trait that I mentioned before, accountability. You have to be accountable to yourself. You're the person that has to hold yourself responsible. You hold yourself accountable, right? So when it comes to self-discipline, you have to understand that there's no one holding your hand, right? So if you say you're going to do something and you don't tell anybody, but you know that you have to do this thing, right? No one is going to judge you, but here's the thing. You are going to have to look at the guy in the mirror and say, you know what? I failed at my mission today. That is what you have to look at, right? So when it comes to self-discipline, you have to reinforce that every single day. You have to have a set plan of, if I'm going to become self-disciplined and you're someone that is not disciplined, you have, it is just not going to happen overnight. You have to practice at it. You have to practice at being self-disciplined, okay? You have to do this. One thing that I will suggest is read more books, okay? Read more books. There's one book that I will kind of advise you guys to read. It's called Atomic Habits. This book is very powerful on teaching you how to become self-disciplined. Okay? Very, very powerful book. A book that really teaches about self-discipline. So I would encourage that you guys go read that book. Okay? The 5th trait that you have to develop if you want to become an alpha male is you have to become that guy that is always solutions orientated. This is very important. You see, I have coached a lot of guys on becoming the best version of themselves. I've coached a lot of guys on becoming better with women. And the one thing that I always have to do is I have to teach guys how to become more solutions orientated, right? A lot of people tend to focus on the problem, right? They focus on the problem. I'm not saying that you should not hit your problems head on. That's okay if you have a problem. That's fine. Knowing how it happened, knowing why it happened, that's great, right? But you cannot focus on the problem till it freaking cripples you, right? You have to know what is the problem, why did this happen, how did this happen, and then go find the solution to that problem. Maybe take 10% of your time thinking about your problem. The other 90% you should be focused on finding solutions, because alpha males do not look. When I say accountability and self-discipline, you have to be that guy that you do not focus on your problems, right? I'm not saying don't take care of your problems. I'm saying be the guy that's always looking for solutions. I'll give you an example, right? The lockdowns happened, right? A lot of people's businesses got wiped out, right? That's a problem, right? That is a huge problem. A lot of people were ending up in self-wallow, self-pity. And it's not their fault, right? It's not the fault that this disease happened, right? It's not their fault. But at the end of the day, it happened to all of us, right? Some people were fortunate enough that they had built up their wealth and it didn't really affect them like that. But a lot of people were not so lucky, right? Some people got wiped out, lost their businesses, lost their jobs, right? But there were those that were able to actually build from that disaster, right? And became stronger. Why? Because those people focused on the solution rather than the problem. The people that were not able to recover were focusing more on the problems, right? And obviously I'm generalizing here just to make a point, right? Everyone's situation is different. But I will say this. It is always better to focus on the solution of your problem than actually focusing on how devastating the problem is. Okay? Guys, that is the 5 traits that you need to develop if you want to go from being a regular man to becoming an alpha male. Okay? Guys, that is the video for today. If you have not already, subscribe to the channel, turn on post notifications. Guys, if you guys have not already, like the video. Any comments that you guys have, let me know in the comment sections below. I love interacting with you guys down there. Finally, guys, I am taking on new clients. If you feel like you are having an issue with a girl, or you feel like you need to get more women into your life, you have an issue, problems meeting women, my email is in the description box below. Contact me and we will set up a free consultation, right? A free one-on-one to discuss your issues. Okay? So with that, I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.